Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Beyond Indigo's Facebook Live. My name's Kelly Balsell, and I'm the owner and CEO of Beyond Indigo Pets. It's kind of fun to be back. We took a week break last week and regenerated ourselves and had a little R&R time, but now we're back, and we're going to discuss Halloween with our lovely Miss Kate Matthews, our blogging extraordinaire. Kate, what do you have for us today?
Hey, Kelly. Yeah, so, I feel like there's a lot of folks out there that are kind of approaching Halloween with a little bit of uncertainty this year, like so many of us are. We're not really sure what's going to happen. We're not sure how far we're taking it. But that doesn't mean that the spirit hasn't, come into all of us. And, whether or not we're out and about or we're at home, Halloween is still an infectious part of our holiday spirit. And there's a lot you can still do with that. So if you're wondering whether or not Halloween marketing is right for your practice, we can consult our Magic 8 Ball.
Always good.
And it says it is decidedly so. So you don't have to take the 8 Ball's word for it, though. We've got a lot of really great stuff. We've been marketing Halloween here for more years than I can possibly even comprehend. One thing that I think is really important this year with Halloween is that we have had a huge adoption boom, right? Pet adoptions have been off the charts this last year, and there's going to be a lot of first-time pet owners with a lot of newer pets who have not experienced Halloween. So I think one of the first tacks we need to take with Halloween for marketing is education, right? And it can be fun. It doesn't have to be all, don't do this and this is bad and scary, spooky skeletons, whatever. There'll be a little bit of that, but we'll kind of double back there. But looking at education, I think the first thing we really need to think about are blogs. They're one of our best tools for educating clients, your clients. And
they're all right? The Beyond Indigo family, right?
Absolutely.
I just provide the sandbox that we all play in, that's all.
Absolutely true. And blogging is a great way to do this because it is content that you have created, content that you own, and when you share it, you're bringing people back to your website instead of sending them off to PetMD. So Halloween blogs can go a bunch of different ways. Of course, there's a traditional Halloween pet safety where you cover a little bit of everything, focusing on a few tips here, a few tips there, covering a little bit of microchipping at the end. But you can also get a little more granular. You can focus blogs on pet costumes, which is a really great topic to explore. We've got trends, we've got how to wear them safely, all of that sort of stuff. Kind of piggybacking on that is getting used to, pets seeing their people and strangers in costumes. Pets might be a little more accustomed to us wearing masks by now, but any masks that are covering the face, doing anything like that. There's also, getting pets acquainted with Halloween decor, the safety of that, candles, getting them acclimated to the animatronics if you've got those kind of house displays that are super creepy, or you're going to be trick-or-treating your pet, which of course a lot of us are on the fence with, but tips for that as well. Chocolate and treat considerations, lots of blogs you can get into. And once you've got these topics created, of course, you can share them onto Facebook, your different social media channels, and use that call to action to direct your readers back to your website to learn more about what it is you're covering in your topics. I think this is a really strong approach, like I said, especially with new pet owners who need more of that directed information. And you don't just want them to scroll by it on a feed. You don't want them to just kind of miss it. You want them to engage and really connect with your practice this way. So speaking of scrolling, social marketing, you can do a lot to increase engagement by creating content that encourages participation. One of our favorite, kind of perennial favorites, of course, is the costume contest. But
huge
and so much fun. Such a great opportunity for people to share pictures of their pets, to see the other ones. And it's having pet takeover days in our Facebook or Instagram feeds is never a terrible thing right now. I think everyone's craving a little more of that than usual. But I think that it's important to consider too, having it as like a full-on Halloween pet contest, right? Not every pet loves wearing a costume. Not every pet feels safe or comfortable in a costume. So you can kind of expand that to more Halloween themed pet photos, right? Whether or not it's, your black lab sitting in the middle of a huge pumpkin patch and you've got brilliant blue sky, or, sniffing out the skeleton foot that taps on the front patio whenever. There's a lot of fun ways you can do these photo contests to not limit it to just costumes. We've also got things like, pet themed pumpkin carving contests that you can have folks put up those pictures. You can do, pet themed decorations. You see a lot of those. I know at least here, the skeletal pets are a really big decor trend right now. I mean, I think we're all seeing that, right? So, maybe if you've got clients that are, jumping into that trend and they can submit their photos there. All of these fun sort of ways to get people to engage. You could even invite the kids of your clients to do Halloween pet pictures, or do a coloring contest where they can print out the image from their website to do it at home and either submit it as a picture or drop it off at the clinic. So there's a lot of different ways that you can still engage with your clients without it being the big parking lot parties or in practice contests and stuff that we've seen folks do in the past.
Yeah, that's so like two comments with that. One, new pet owners probably don't know what's poisonous for their pets. Like you mentioned chocolate, so we know that, but raisins are too, right? And grapes and all sorts of things. So I think of all these new pet owners, knowing like these are the top 10 poisonous things that could happen on October. And here's that hospital emergency number.
Absolutely. And, more to that point, talking about the dangers of xylitol is really important too.
Yes.
Those are great things that you need to make sure that you're covering, especially if like we said, in your, your pet safety blogs and your, and your more granular blogs about, treats that are bad, the chocolate, the toxins. But I think there it's important too to balance it out with maybe a little bit of what is safe. Do I need to panic if my dog eats a Starburst? I actually honestly don't know the question to that. In all those years, we've always talked about chocolate, but not about the food and stuff. But you can touch a little bit in in those treat blogs and in your tricks and treats blogs. That's kind of how I look at them, right? You might even consider doing some pet safe DIY treat recipes, because goodness knows we have more pumpkin and more pumpkin seeds around than any of us know what to do with.
Yes.
Talk about some ways that you can work that into, your pet care, what's safe, what's not. There's a lot of ways that can go as well. And those tips can easily be shared, in social media one at a time too, with links back to your blog. If you want to know more about whether pumpkin seeds are good for your pets, check it out on our blog. We've got a whole lot more information, however you want to craft that into its, spectacular copywriting. But there's so many different things that go along with that outreach. And one of the favorite things we have found over the years is doing kind of more spooky, creepy, scary posts where you have that, that black and white and green, or, under the microscope view of parasites and worms and all the creepy crawlies that could infect your pet. And then you ask people to identify them. You kind of set it up, maybe not as a contest like the pet photo contest, which might have prizes and stuff like that, but just more as like, what is this? What is that? You could do the x-ray or the ultrasound of the pet with the GI obstruction and ask people to like name that instruction or obstruction. You can have a lot of fun with it and engage people's kind of like, love of the macabre and the dark and everything there too.
Or identify that bone, because a lot
identify the bone, skeletal stuff, right? And again, you can Google.
Yeah.
can double these back to the blogs too. If you're talking about, here's, like one of the most gruesome images that I've seen is heartworm disease, and maybe that's not the route to go unless you can, kind of get it, whatever, but you could link that back to a blog on heartworm disease and learn why it's so scary for your pet. But we've had a lot of fun with those, and we have seen just an incredible engagement rate with those kinds of themed posts throughout the weeks leading up to Halloween. So, and so those, those cover kind of a gambit of digital marketing, but there's a lot of cool stuff you can do in-house too. A lot of you guys over the years have done the pet photo booths, but this year set it up in your parking lot, keep your hand sanitizer nearby, make it pretty. We're not going to have, props and costumes this year so much, but, you can still set the scene and have folks come in with their pets and do the whole thing. You can also, encourage your techs and whoever's your curbside drop-off folks, you can have them in costume, especially that, week leading up to Halloween. And of course, if you are going to do anything in-house or in the parking lots or whatever, you can have like masquerade theme parties is a fun way to encourage folks to wear masks, but still stay in the spirit. I mean, is there's ever a time to have a masquerade party? It's in the middle of pandemic season and Halloween season coming together on a full moon, right? But if you take advantage of these ideas, I really encourage you to put up some signage around your parking lot and areas where people are engaged and they're waiting to check out your social media. Go to Instagram, go to Facebook, learn more about the creepy crawlies. You might even want to put together a hashtag, and encourage everybody to use it as they post from the photo booth. And if you're taking pictures in house of, people coming in and doing all their stuff and having fun, you can do a hashtag like, 7 Hills Spooky Pets. Which is fun, not only just for the ability to, have the hashtag and do the thing, but then if you want to go back and see stuff later, you can just click on that hashtag and all those posts come up. And then you can aggregate that into other social media posts as long as, everything's kosher to reshare those pictures, which, that's kind of the jam on the social thing, especially
it is
out there to be shared. So I think that we have a lot of opportunity. I don't think that you need to, there's nothing to panic about. We're just kind of, like we are with everything, we're just kind of, putting a new lens on how we approach this, this beloved time of year for all of us that enjoy our, our spookiness.
Our spooky. 4 weeks. Really, until Halloween, 4 solid weeks. It'll go by fast. And then we're going to flip the calendar and it's going to be November. And so we're working on Thanksgiving. And so just a little shout out here at the end of this broadcast is don't get complacent. Just keep the ball rolling, right?
Right. It naturally rolls anyway. So like if you're doing something at the end of Halloween season that talks about pumpkin, right? You can roll that into your Thanksgiving conversations about, more about food safety. This season is so much about food safety, whether or not it's candy or whether or not it's, the turkey skin and the gravy and protecting your pet from pancreatitis and choking on turkey bones. And then that all rolls right into similar Christmas messaging that you want to do. Those foods and risks, continue right through. And talking about decor. A lot of this stuff rolls over from one season to the next between now and the first of the year. So it's good to look at it as a whole as you work together an editorial calendar. And you're right, there's 4 weeks between now and Halloween. But, if you've got a minute to sit down and kind of put together a plan now, you've got 4 whole weeks, so it will, but and time is an illusion right now anyway. So
illusion.
But it's going to fly by. You have to remember each week takes a year. So, have fun with that. Play along with that. You've got a lot of opportunities to do theme weeks over the next 4 weeks. You could do one on safety, one on costumes, and move your way through as we get closer to the holiday. This is a fun time of year for veterinary marketing. There is just there's opportunity, and you know, and one of the things we all know folks love about their pets is that they bring them joy. And, you know, joyous pets at the holiday are one of the fun things. This is a great opportunity to bring people out of their hazy funk and, you know, remind them that we've got a lot to celebrate, whether or not it's on, you know, the side of the spooky or whatever your celebration is. So, yeah.
I love it. We're going to have fun. Because like you said, you know, we forget to realize what is our joy. And sometimes we get a little too deep into the dark and not enough into the light. And so
Absolutely.
embracing your joy, and that's different for every single person. Maybe it's a pumpkin latte for some, and others it's the M&M's bowl, you know, but if in the food groups of joy, there's other joys. But I like how you said, you know, look at the joy, and also don't forget to have joy, because it lightens the day. It makes everything a little bit better, you know? So,
and I think that's a great metaphor, because we are kind of navigating that light and the dark in our season right now too. So, you know, it's a really, you know, it's why we light the candles and put out the pumpkins, is to light our way through the darkness. So, you know, take that metaphor and run with it too.
I love it. Well, we're going to end there today, Kate. So thank you. Thank you for all your ideas. And just, you know, it's so hard right now because time is messed up and it is an illusion. So we kind of forget where we are in the calendar, you know, like time meshed with the calendar doesn't always mesh. So just having this moment to say, take a breath, look at the calendar.
We can do this.
We can do this. Get ahead of the ball. Don't get behind the ball. Let's go, right? Like give a moment and have fun with it. Because we get to control our attitude, but we don't always get to control everything else. So if we can have fun, that's what we can do.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Kelly. It's always a pleasure to do this with you.
Always great to have you here, Kate. Thank you.
All right. See you later.